Now, I want to speak on this situation with Serena Williams. And hold, let me put it up on the screen. Her talking about how she just does not feel valued, being undervalued as a black woman. I know y'all say, "Oh, Jay, man, you clickbaiting, man. She ain't said that." Well, look at the title of this article, bro. What does the title of this article say? She feels undervalued. Okay, this is a woman who's married. She's married to Brad. She has the mixed kid. She has this successful career. She's a household name. But she still feels undervalued because there's something missing. And I think this is what's going on. A lot of melanated women, they have a piece that is missing. And I think that piece has to do with the fact that she's been running away from basically who she is, I believe. This is a female who grew up in a household with a strong father, who helped propel them into the tennis world, who defended them. And then they end up going in the direction that they went in. Venus, I mean, she dates nothing but Caucasian males. And then you got Serena, who's married to one. And I think that some of what's going on with her not feeling undervalued, I do think has to it goes back to the fact that you have, unfortunately, these melanated women who they envy Caucasian women. Not all, but there are those who do. And they seek to have the same lifestyle. And once they're able to get in that position and they still feel empty. This woman is worth over $200 million. Why do you feel undervalued? Why do you feel undervalued? You would think that she has the life she's always wanted. But again, there's something missing there. There's something missing there. All right. Let's see where it starts. In her cover interview, she spoke about being underpaid, undervalued as a melanated woman. Someone in my position can show women and people of color that we have a voice because Lord knows I use mine. She continued, I love sticking up for people and supporting women, being the voice that millions of people don't have. Serena Williams, the undisputable GOAT, has faced incessant discrimination and misogyny. Oh, come on, man. Really? Okay. Throughout her awe-aspiring career. And in her new cover interview with British Vogue, she reflected on being underpaid, undervalued as she established her place in the tennis world. But I've never been a person that has been like, I want to be a different color, or I want my skin tone to be lighter, she added. Well, some people may disagree with you, Serena, because they think that you're lightening your skin. And if you look at the post that the Jasmine brand put up, there was a picture of her and it looked like she is changing the tone of her skin. It's very evident. Even people in the comment section said it. So I don't know about that. I don't know about that. You know? I like who I am. I like how I look. And I love representing the beautiful dark women out there. For me, it's perfect. I wouldn't want it any other way. I guess that's the post there. Williams also spoke about this year's BLM protests following the untimely demises of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many others as a result of the police. Now we as melanated people have a voice, and technology has been a huge part of it, she says. We see things that have been hidden for years. You don't say, Serena. The things that we as people have to go through, this has been happening for years. People just couldn't pull out their phones and video it before. You know, one of the things that I could honestly say is that these celebrities, they don't help the situation. They make the situation a lot worse. While they live in their mansions and their walled up gated communities, they want to talk about how they speaking for the voiceless, okay? You're speaking for the voiceless, but you're not doing your research on the people that you are supporting, okay? There was one name that's mentioned. Jacob Blake. Why do you think Jacob Blake's name is missing? Because when people found out the truth about Jacob Blake, they stopped promoting it. They stopped speaking up for him. Now it's just about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery. But if you look at those situations closer, you will see that there's really no fight to be fought. But because it's an election year, that's why I brought up Trump at the beginning of the stream. This is an election year, so if everything is on the table. Everything is on the table, you know? At the end of May, I had so many people who were Caucasian writing me saying, I'm sorry for everything you have to go through. Really, Serena? They should have told you this 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when your father was protecting you from all of the things that you were going through. They should be apologizing to him, because he was the main one out there that was shielding them from everything that was going on. But you got these so-called allies of melanated people that's going to apologize. They're going to talk about how guilty they feel. It's a facade, people. It's just a way to control you through guilt. And it's a way to control you through, we're your friends or your allies when they're your biggest enemies. You know? They don't want change. They want the status quo. They just want you to feel like you're loved. Because at the end of the day, that's what they think you want, Serena. A lot of Caucasian people think you want love from them. You don't want any true change. You want things to stay the same. You want to be in this continuous pattern of victimhood and love me, give me a hug. All these people want to be loved. That's what it is. I think for a minute they said not to understand that they started, I think for a minute they started not to understand because I don't think you can understand, but they started to see, she continued. I was like, well, you didn't see any of this before. I've been talking about this my whole career. It's been one thing after another. Well, Serena, that didn't stop you from trying to be a part of that same community. Okay? Now, I know there's going to be people, especially melanated women, that's going to say, well, Jaye, no black man wanted her. How do you know that? I did a live stream yesterday about Suki Hana. If Suki Hana can find somebody of her own grouping, I'm pretty sure that Serena could have found somebody. But we have to continue this narrative because that's the only thing that matters, right? Pushing a certain narrative. The narrative is the only thing that matters. You know? All right, let's see. It's been one thing after another. Williams also spoke about using her vast platform to elevate other marginalized voices. Tennis is a small place in the whole scheme of things. Not the world scheme, the whole scheme of things. She said, in this society, women are not taught or expected to be that future leader or future CEO. I don't think that's correct. Look at the melanated community. A lot of black women will tell you that they were raised to be independent. They were raised to seek success. So that is not true. Okay? That's not true. The narrative has to change, and maybe it doesn't get better in time for me, but someone in my position can show women and people of color that we have a voice. Because Lord knows I use mine. I love sticking up for people and supporting women, being the voice that millions of people don't have. I've never been like anybody else in my life, Williams said, and I'm not going to start now. She's undervalued, people, even though she's valued at over 200 million. Everybody wants to be a victim these days. Everybody wants to be a victim. Even though they have millions of dollars, they have people who work for them, people who worship them. Serena Williams has fans from all different corners of the globe. And yes, there is discrimination and bigotry, but it ain't just here. It's in a lot of these countries she's been at, but she's not going to call those countries out because the narrative is America's bad. We have to continue this narrative of only America does these things happen, and that's not true. But if you look at her family makeup, look at who she, listen, and I've said this before, I've said this for a long time. People usually settle down and marry the people that they've always wanted to be with. Okay? You've been through all of these different things because of your skin tone, but look who you chose to marry and settle down with. It's just like with Eve. You can talk about the things you've been through all day long as a melanated woman, but at the end of the day, you chose to settle down with a Caucasian guy. We could talk about the things that you've been through. You could talk about how you were treated, but it didn't stop you from wanting a mixed family. Now, let me get to the value part. This is how she's saying that she felt this way through her career, early in her career. She feels this way now. She feels this way now. She is the face of women's tennis. She is. She was the reason why people had invested interest in women's tennis. Her and her sister. With her father in the stands watching everything as it happened. But what happened when they got successful and made money, basically kicked them to the curb. And was in an interesting story that nobody's going to tell you, but I am. You probably heard it. She actually had a relationship with her Caucasian tennis coach who ended up leaving her for Maria Sharapova. I'm telling you, man. When maybe that's how she remember. That's probably why she says why she was undervalued, because she was trying to get with her Caucasian tennis coach who ended up dumping her for Maria Sharapova. So maybe in that sense she feels undervalued in that sense. But this is the life she's wanted. She's wanted a life where she's with the guy that she's with. She has the family that she has, even though her net worth is higher than the guy that she's with. You're with a Caucasian guy, but your net worth is higher than his. But you felt undervalued. Serena has made a lot of money for a lot of years in tennis. Okay? Again, she has been the face of tennis, of women's tennis, for a long time. And let's talk about male and female sports, okay? Male sports, male athletes are going to make more because there's more interest in male sports than female sports. Look at the WNBA. The only way the WNBA could get any type of attention and publicity was for them to be all about social protesting. A WNBA player even admitted it. Because no one cares about the WNBA. Okay? They have a pro women's softball league they've been showing on ESPN. No one cares about that either. The only women's sport that guys may have a interest in viewing was the lingerie football league. But I think I don't know if they still going or not. I don't know. But as far as women sports, yes, men are going to make more because people care more about male athletes and male sports than female sports. Even though I think women's tennis has basically been up to par with the men as far as notoriety. But that hasn't stopped her from making money. So I think it just depends on how you view the situation. I think it's just a bunch of nothing, to be honest with you.